Hello class, welcome back to the Chong channel. Right now we're going to look at how to solve for the arc length given a central angle and a radius. Okay, so let's look at the problem. An electron travels along a circular path with a radius of 4.6 miles. What is the number of miles the electron traveled during an interval when the central angle formed by the electron's path was 220 degrees? Okay, so based on our problem, what we do is we draw a circle. So this is how the electron is traveling. It's traveling in a circular path. We're given that the radius is 4.6 miles. We want to find the number of miles the electron traveled during the interval when the central angle formed by the electron's path was 220 degrees. All right, so I'm just going to highlight this. So this is what we wanted to find, okay? So that's essentially our arc length, which is S. All right, so first thing here, what we're going to do is plug into the formula arc length equals radius times theta. So we don't know what the arc length is, or we don't know what the number of miles the electron traveled, so that's our S. We're going to plug in the radius. The radius is 4.6. And now here, theta. Now if you remember in the other video, theta, it has to be in radian measure. But right now here, we have it in degree measure. Now, sometimes it gets confusing. What do we multiply by? Do we multiply by pi over 180 or is it 180 over pi? Well, essentially, you need to remember that diagonally, we have to have like terms. So I wouldn't put pi here because that's not a pi term. So that means 180 goes here because that's eventually what we're going to start reducing and canceling. So in order to change the number of degrees into radian measure, we're going to multiply by pi over 180. That's a conversion. So I'm going to just put this over 1 because this is a fraction, and I want to make this a fraction over 1. So just keep it simple. What you're basically doing is top times top, which is 220 pi, and then 1 times 180 is 180, and then in the calculator I put 220 divided by 180, and I get a decimal. I press math frac, and then I get 11 over 9, and then I'm going to keep the pi on top. So putting that 180 on the bottom, essentially we're simplifying, we're diagonally canceling like terms, and then so it reduces to 11 over 9, and then make sure you put the pi. So 220 degrees, the central angle in radian measure is now 11 pi over 9. So like I said, just keep everything simple because the right side is a fraction. I want this as a fraction, so I'm just going to put a 1 on the bottom. So same idea, it's top times top. So 4.6 times 11, we get 50. We get 50.6, and I'm going to keep the pi. Then I have 1 times 9, which is 9. And I'm going to keep my S here. So now we're going to simplify. It's going to be top divided by the bottom. So 50.6 divided by 9, we get a decimal. Then I press math frac. Oh, I got a decimal. Oops. I forgot to go back to the problem. Here it says in the multiple choices, there is no pi in the answer. So what that means is I need to put pi in the calculator. So let's redo that. That will be 50.6 times, make sure you're putting the pi symbol. So that's second caret, enter. So I get a decimal. Then I'm going to press divide by 9, and I get 17.6627. Now, looking at the multiple choices, it's clear that everything is rounded to the nearest hundredths. So this is my tenths and this is my hundredths. we look at the next number. The next number is not 5 or more, so we're going to keep that number the same. So our arc length is 17.66, and that would be the number of miles the electron traveled. And so that's 17.66 miles. And so it is choice 3. I hope that helped. Bye-bye.